Hey, what's up you guys? It's Victoria. So in today's video, I wanted to address a question that I recently got in my comments that I thought would be a really great video topic. And the question was, why do I keep making the same mistakes over and over again? And it was in reference to articulation. So if this is a topic that interests you, then please stay tuned. So the first thing I want you guys to know is that you're not alone in this, right? It's a totally normal process to make the same mistake over and over if you've only heard the correct answer or the correct articulation one time. If that wasn't the case, then no one would really have to work on their accent as a process because you could have someone tell you the word and then you could remember it and say it correctly forever. So first know that it's not you, it's just a part of the process, and we kind of have to be creative and think big picture in how we're going to approach it. So this is the context, okay? There's a word and you know how to say it when you're practicing, when you're just sitting in front of your computer, you can say it perfectly, but then when you try to use it later on, you've totally forgotten how to say it, or at least your muscles have. So you're saying it with a mistake and you're well aware of it. So I've boiled the answer to this question down to 3 primary components that you guys have to think about if your goal is really to master and then be able to forget about the articulation of a given word. So step 1 might surprise you, and it's nothing that I read or studied. It's literally just based on my years of experience doing this. However, it makes sense, okay? So thing number 1 is to really dive deep and really analyze and think about, do you hold any biases towards the pronunciation of the given word? So what on earth do I mean by that? So let me give you an example. I've worked with many clients who have told me that for them, the pronunciation of the TH sound, in which our tongue has to be between our teeth, like in thanks, is culturally just plain old offensive and horrific, okay? So like a specific story comes to mind. I was working with a group of clients and they were all from India, and in our classes, they were able to say TH perfectly, like absolutely perfectly, and they would never ever use it. And once I asked them about it and they told me that we get it, we get that in North American English, this sound exists, but to us, this is not an okay sound. It just looks so, you know? So I want you guys to really think about, is there anything kind of blocking you? It might be conscious, like this was really conscious for them, but it might be something a bit more subconscious. So you might have to really spend some time with this question, really kind of dive deep into the core of what are your cultural groups' perceptions towards American English, for better or for worse, and see if there's something really specific that's preventing you mentally from being able to pronounce the word as you want to pronounce it. So thing number 2 is to train your ears. So what I mean by this is you really want to familiarize your auditory perceptual system with how the word is said, but on a really deep level. Because if I was to just say a word to you and the sounds that I'm saying don't exist in your native language, your brain is going to filter out all the differences between your native language's sounds and what I just said. And so you're literally going to be hearing something different, okay? So I want you guys to not listen to the word one time by one speaker. So I know people rave about going onto Google Translate and hearing their word, and that's a great starting point. It really is. But if your goal is truly mastery, like if you want to pronounce like a native speaker does, that's not enough. So you want to hear many people saying the word many times in many different contexts. So a website that I love and recommend to all my clients, and if you've ever watched my videos, then it's very likely that you've heard me talk about it. It's called youglish.com. And on Youglish, you can type in any word you want. You can click on US for American English, and it pulls together for you all the instances in which someone is saying your target word. So you don't want to listen to the whole speech. You really just want to bombard your ears with as many instances of your word as possible. To take it one step further, slow down the playback speed in Youglish. I know this will sound weird and tedious, and it's not like a very sexy way to practice, but honestly, listening at a slower speed is incredibly valuable for your auditory perception. So I don't know if you can do that on a mobile device, but definitely if you're on a desktop, on Youglish, you can slow down the playback speed and spend, a few times a day, 5 minutes each time listening to your target word. It's gonna take you literally so far ahead. And finally, thing 3 is to consider your muscles, right? So speaking is very much a physical act. So if you are from a language that uses certain sounds, you've developed certain muscle patterns for those, right? But in American English, those muscle patterns are going to be different. So even if you don't hold any biases towards the word, and you know exactly what it's supposed to sound like, and you're 1000% sure of that, if you don't train your muscles to remember what to do, they're probably going to do what's most comfortable for them, and that may be to just use the muscle patterns from a similar sound in your native language. So this, just like any kind of motor practice, is going to take work, is going to take some diligence and practice. Again, break your practice up into a few sessions a day, because you don't want to practice for 2 hours straight. You definitely won't get even close to the same outcome as if you were to just practice for 5 minutes each time, 5 times a day. That would be so powerful. So let's summarize, you guys. Step 1 is to ensure that there's not a certain bias that you're pushing onto this word. If you're wanting to say thank you, but your culture has told you from a young age to keep your tongue in your mouth, then make sure that that's not what's blocking you. Number 2, make sure that you've really spent the time to listen to the word over and over, more than you think you need to, okay? It won't be fun, but it will be worth it. And then the third point is to just do physical muscle practice. Think of this as a very physical act. Practice using those articulators in a different way to the point that it becomes effortless and it's just a part of your new habit. So that's all for today's video, you guys, about why you may be pronouncing the same word wrong over and over again. I do hope that these steps will be able to help you guys. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.